evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Detective Dankers, and I want to bring you onto a world of scientific theater and what may be the strangest UFO case in Japan. UFOs, or otherwise known as unidentified flying objects, are one of the world's greatest mysteries. Throughout time, multiple sightings have popped up on our general radar. Some of the famous ones you might know being the crash at Roswell, maybe the lights over Phoenix, and even some of the recently declassified stuff that our US Navy has shown us. However, you might have noticed a trend with these sightings is that a lot of these UFOs take place in the sky. And that makes sense, of course, given the name unidentified flying object. However, Danksters, we're going to go down a rabbit hole, so thanks for tuning in, because we're going to talk about the strange case of Utsuro Bune. This is a strange case of a UFO that came from the ocean rather than the sky. And the story goes like this. On February 22nd, 1803, some fishermen on the Hitachi province saw a vessel drifting out in sea, so they decided to tow the vessel back to shore. The vessel was strange looking. The Japanese fishermen said that it reminded them of a koro, which is a Japanese incense burner. They said that was the closest thing that they could think of when regarding the object. The top part seemed to be made of a red lacquer rosewood, which is a strong and heavy wood. There were also several windows made of glass, and strangely enough, reports of crystal as well. The windows were also covered with bars and seemed to be closed with some kind of tree resin, while the bottom of the vessel was completely covered with metal plates. Now, seeing something washed up on shore like this would definitely creep you out, especially in the year 1803. This thing was completely unknown to the human eye at the thing. I mean, strange things were dated back way before 1803, but to have this in 1803 as a Japanese fisherman, I imagine this was something that just blew their minds to see. Well, after towing the vessel to shore, they actually were able to get a closer look inside of it as well. Thankfully, with the windows there, the fishermen were able to peek in and actually see the inside was completely decorated in a text written all over the walls in an unknown language, or at least a language they couldn't recognize. Not only that, but the fishermen noticed that there was a woman in this craft, and she looked to be around her late 20s. The woman was about 5 feet tall, and her hair and eyebrows were red with white extensions. Also, a funny thing to note is that how they described the woman's hairstyle has never been described before at this point in history. The woman's skin was very pale, and the clothes she wore were very long and made of unknown fabrics. The woman did try to communicate with the fishermen, but no one could really understand the language. However, though, she did seem nice. She was also noted to be carrying a box around with her that she at all times would let no one ever touch. Now, after that, it can go two ways from what I read. One way it could go is that people speculated that she had a head inside the box. There was this strange thing going around the time where they found like a head on a pike, and they thought that this woman might have had one as well inside of her box. So they were scared of that, and they decided to reassemble the Utsuro Bune, the vessel that she came in, and drift her back out into sea because they were so scared of her and they didn't really want to take any chances. And then there's the other side where she didn't leave and she stayed exactly where she crashed and grew old and died. It's not really sure what happened, but what is sure is that this is definitely a strange case of a UFO. A strange woman washes up on shore in a strange vessel that no one has ever seen before and speaks a completely unknown language. Is pretty creepy. This whole case is very strange to me and very interesting. We don't always get to hear cases from ships coming from sea and washing up and put them under the UFO category. So as soon as I heard the UFO came from the water, I immediately wanted to dive into this. Well, Danksters, this has been an interesting case of a UFO. Yes, I know this was a strange video, but the Utsuro Bune case is something I have been thinking about for a while, ever since I first found out about it. I was having a conversation with a friend, and I was telling him how Japanese and American UFOs are completely different and how we culturalize them. And then I looked up and I found the Utsuro Bune story, and I was like, what is this? And I knew eventually I had to make a video on it, and well, here we are. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Please go follow all my socials, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that fun stuff. You guys have a happy Halloween, and I'll catch you next time.